Okay, because I'm using thins and thins are not very strong, where I'm doing the bracing, I'm actually putting 2 layers, a layer on the top, a layer on the bottom, and then this, I'm making a sandwich. And then I'll put those all together and I'll have a fairly decent, strong board. Okay, now I'll do this one. Running a couple of screws through these because these are the drawers, so I'll be running some screws. I have to be super careful because this wood is brittle. Cedar is a hardwood, and like a lot of hardwoods, cedar is brittle until it dries, and even after it dries it can be brittle. In fact, it's harder to work with when it's dry. And as my grandson explained, I'm just going to put a lot of fasteners in that to hold it. See where those poke through? I'll show you all. Another thing that's nice about these is that actually poking through, I can actually make it stay better because it poked through.
What she said is where they poke through, she's going to show you how she makes it stay better. It's actually a positive thing.
Where the brads poked through, we're just going to take a hammer and basically knock them down and make them flat. And when we do that, that ain't pulling out of there now because it's bradded over on the other side. Okay, you can turn it off now. Okay, so I have this is really good wood right here. Jack and Shauna had renters and they got rid of a bed and they brought it over here, and I don't want the bed. I'm probably going to use it to do something completely different than a bed with, but these were some of the slats that went under it, and so it's really good hard wood, and I put that behind where the hinges are going to go, and that should strengthen that whole edge and keep my door strong. This is just a little connector. Okay, so it's an outhouse door, and traditionally an outhouse door must have a crescent moon in it. Now, nobody really knows why. I don't know why a crescent moon. It just is. I guess because they don't want, it's like the crescent moon says, if you come in here, you're going to see a full moon. That's my fucking guess. I don't fucking know. No doubt one of you guys will know exactly why, and you'll tell me. Probably Laura Underwood. Yeah. Remember when I said I didn't know why the mud dauber nests worked on the hot spots and rashes and stuff? Well, Laura said it's because they have magnesium and zinc and aluminum oxide in them. So there you go. That would be why. So I'm sure probably Laura will say, well, the crescent moon is there because...
Well, not only is she a writer and intelligent, just like you, but she's also a research librarian.
Yes, she's a research librarian, so she knows everything that I don't know. That's why we write together. So, yeah. So anyways, I put in a couple more brads. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, I don't have a brad nailer. How can I do that if I don't have a brad nailer? Well, I didn't have a brad nailer for 4 billion years, and I still built things. But here's the thing. With a brad nailer, I can use these thins. And without the brad nailer, this wood, every time I would try to put a nail in it, would split like a bitch.
You had to pre-drill and all that other stuff.
I would have to, okay, so that, how did I get around that? I pre-drilled every fucking hole.
Yeah.
I pre-drilled every hole. So, much easier this way. Okay.
You drilled into
look at there! I actually, not that those brads are strong, but they actually went through my sawhorse. By the way, children, these are sawhorses.
Yes, Tracy.
Tracy Lewis, this is a sawhorse. Yeah.
I'll have to tag her.
Yeah. Tags it, Tracy.
Yeah.
Well, because Tracy Lewis worked for us for many, many years. Great gal, good worker. Okay. But Tracy, when she first started working for me, she didn't know what anything was. So I was working and I sent her after sawhorses. and I told her where they were in the shop and everything. She came back with everything but sawhorses, and I finally said, Tracy, do you not know what a sawhorse is? And she goes, no, I don't. So there you go.
And then the funny part, then she went home.
She went home, and her dad had sawhorses out in the thing and was painting boards. And he called and said, and now I feel really stupid. But there ain't nothing stupid about Tracy.
Nope, nothing stupid about Tracy.
And just because you don't know what the hell I'm doing doesn't mean there's anything stupid about you. That's what you're watching for, right? Okay, so now I have to do the Z pattern on the front here. And I have to make sure that my Z does not get in the way of my hinge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the hinge on.
Oh, how smart is that?
Now, I have two hinges. They do not match. But I want to use this one if it will work at all because it's spring-loaded, and that will keep the shithouse door closed without putting an exterior lock. Why do I not want to put an exterior lock on the shithouse? Because too many people think it's funnier than shit to lock people in the crapper. I prefer not to have to rescue people because somebody has locked them in the crapper because they think it's funny. And you can tell by the amount of dirt I'm scraping off this one and the fact that they don't match, and they're obvious that these are something that somebody else threw away. But like I said, so that I don't have to worry about putting, because that's the kind of shit I do. I will do something and then I'll put it right where I didn't want to because I'm not paying attention. And I use a smaller screw. It will probably still poke out, and then I will cut the screw off with the angle grinder. Because that's the way we do things here. You know, it's funny because before I was going to call this How I Spent the Apocalypse, I was going to call it, of course there wasn't an apocalypse then, now it seems apropos, but there wasn't an apocalypse. I was going to call this whole thing Make and Do, because that's what I always do. I have to make do. I can either do shit with this half-ass crap, or I cannot do it at all. And since I'm kind of, I don't know if you guys guessed this or not, but I'm kind of a workaholic, so not doing anything isn't really an option. So this hinge I know will work. I'm not sure about that one, because as you can see, it's got a piece of tape on it, and that's to hold this pin, and I don't know if that pin is something that broke out of it, or it's something that needs to go in it, or if it was just by it, and I was like, yeah, it looks like it's going to work.
Yeah, it looks like it
Doesn't that look like it's going to work?
Looks like it ought to work just fine.
We'll see, though. Sometimes you put these things up, and they won't work with a regular hinge, and I don't have another one. Because sometimes they actually cause it to open weird. And that's one of those things. I don't know. I'm guessing that it will work. Oh, and believe me, if it won't work, the amount of cussing will be a whole new level. You guys will probably hear it. You won't want to have to watch it. You won't have to watch the amount of cussing that'll go on if I hang it and it does it.
Well, that's when she uses her damn it tool.
Damn it! All right. Okay. So like I said, those did go through, and okay, I guess I could show you that. Okay, so they did go through, which not only looks like ass, but now I have a sharp point. And people are just like animals. If you leave them a place to hurt themselves, they will find it. Yeah. People are the same way. If you leave a sharp, pointy thing, they will run across the yard to fall on it. So we're going to cut that sumbitch off.
And by people, she means me.
I didn't say that.
No, but I know what you're saying, because you're right. I am the one who cuts myself on every. I find everybody.
And why didn't I say that, people? Because I have to sleep sometimes. I have to sleep sometime, and I guarantee if I said that, I'd have a pillow over my head, And
Well, not yet.
And I'd be going, what are you doing, honey? Well, I came in here and you were trying to swallow this pillow. I'm saving your fucking life.
Yes.
Hey, take your angle grinder. I don't have an angle grinder. You know what I did before I had an angle grinder? I broke the motherfuckers off with a hammer. Besides which, I told you early on, if you're going to spend money on something, spend it on tools. You know, or whine until your wife buys it for you.
Oh,
That's what I do.
You mean like the heat gun?
Yeah, like the heat gun. I didn't have a heat gun the other day. Remember I was bitching that I was trying to use that blow dryer, which half-ass worked? So Lynn bought me a heat gun. And so you know that we live in COVID Central. If you look over here, you'll see they're putting up a slide because they're having a kids' party.
Yeah.
At the church. I guarantee none of them will have masks on. But there you go. You know, they're not afraid. God's going to protect them.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Last I looked, all in the Torah, it was all about God smiting somebody with a plague. Somebody's died. Oh, a disease came through and wiped everybody that was bad out. Bullshit. It wiped out people. And they're like, why did we get sick? We went to the fucking desert just like God said, and now we're dying like flies. Those were the evil people, Moses said. God's smiting the evil people. Yeah, whatever. All right. So I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to let Lynn go back to the house. Oh, she was almost naked, but you wouldn't have saw it. Okay. So now I have to do a cross brace. I'm hoping that my big board will do it.
She's hoping her big board will do it. She really thinks that this thing is magic.
Okay, so we want to make a Z because Z stands for zip.
Huh.
And so what and the Z pattern keeps your door from sagging. My dad taught me two patterns. One's an X pattern, which would go up like this. And then the next one would be cut here and here. One of them's an X pattern. The Z pattern is just as strong as the X pattern, easier to do. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to set it right where I want it. I'm going to mark right there. Ooh, look at how exacting that was.
Measure.
Measuring's for socks!
Oh, that's right.
Okay, not that I didn't measure on this door. Okay, so now I'll just cut those, I'll put them in, I'll put it all together, and it'll come back and show you the end product.